PC エンジン512色スーパービジュアル6チャンネルリアルサウンドニューワールドを制覇する PC エンジン全開 NEC から
Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Esoteric Entertaining Series, the PC Engine Playhouse, where I take a look at my favorite PC Engine games of all time, whether they're on HuCard or CD-ROM. And today we're definitely on the HuCard side with Magical Chase, which is an absolutely fun horizontal shoot-'em-up that has one of the most ridiculous price tags for any game I have ever seen. It is definitely not worth that, but honestly, no game ever could be worth some of the asking prices for this individual title. Before I get too far involved, it'd be a huge favor, go down below, hit like and subscribe, and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. If you feel so inclined to want to support the channel, we got a Patreon link down below as well. Definitely won't be using that money on Magical Chase though. But right off the top, outside of the comical nature of what this game costs, it is an absolute banger of a shmup. It's definitely in the shoot-'em-up variety, but it is going to test your shmup ability because this game has projectiles all over the screen, and it has that vibe where you actually can take damage, you have a health bar, and you need to collect all of those crystals to get money so you can use it in the shop. There is a very light RPG element to this with some progression, but for the most part it is just going to be that classic horizontal shmup. And you'll see here we took our 2260 crystals into the shop. We can upgrade our weapons, we can upgrade our health, we can buy potions. Getting crystals in this game is going to make the difference between seeing the credits or absolutely getting your ass handed to you and dying very quickly. But the big elephant in the room of this game has got to be the price. I checked on eBay right now and a Japanese copy of this, the cheapest one I saw with a manual that was half torn up, was $700. If you want to purchase today the TurboGrafx version of this game, which is released in extremely limited quantities, the cheapest version I saw for sale was $17,999. The most expensive version I saw was $45,000 even. It's just an insane price. It's always mentioned when people talk about this game, and trust me, even if I was a full set collector, which I am not, there's no way in hell I'd go anywhere near this game on the TurboGrafx side. You could buy a brand new BMW for the cost of this, and trust me, the BMW is going to give you more fun in the end. But it's still an incredible game, and it is still so synonymous with the PC Engine. So often the most expensive games aren't actually that good, but this is one instance in which the expensive game is also one of my favorite titles for the system. It's got all of the shoot-'em-up action going on, it's got so many different enemy sprites, so many different things to see and do, and it's got a ton of challenge as well, which all go to make this a really fun and unique package. Now I will say sometimes you can cheese the game a little bit here. If you go up to the top of the screen, which you'll see me do right now, if you have the three-way shot, you can hit the first phase of this enemy every single time and completely 100% avoid any risk of taking any damage. You get different weapons that you can choose in a level, and they're definitely designed to be used in certain use cases. If you know which weapon to use, the game is going to become that much easier. Almost feels a little bit like Mega Man with the different robot masters and how you can actually bring a weapon in that they can be weak to do more damage. But in this instance, it's just using a weapon that's going to give you a better advantage on the screen spacing. And this little gremlin dude right here, or maybe gigantic mosquito, never been quite sure, is a fun way to actually end this level. These levels are long, they are complex, there's 6 of them in the game, and seeing the ending of this can be quite difficult unless you use the 50,000 crystal code that you can do in the sound test, giving you basically every single power up from level 1. As we move on to the second level here, or second seal as the game calls it, every single level has such a unique look to it. You're not going to be in the same area twice, you're going to get new enemies, new backgrounds, and a lot of nice parallax scrolling as well, which just makes you want to see what the game's going to show you next, because I'm pretty sure that's just a blue Slimer from Ghostbusters right there. But tell me down below, have you ever played Magical Chase and what do you think of it? I feel like most people will have known of this game, but maybe not have actually played it, so I would be curious to hear how you guys know about it and if you have encountered it. But it's just one of those fun titles. I love having to navigate around the screen, and this is definitely going to put up a lot of instructions in later levels, making you really think about where you place your character. But it also has an amazing soundtrack, so go ahead and listen for like 45 seconds, and I'll come back and tell you more about the history of the game. super fun soundtrack, whether you're in the level or in the shop. Again, you need to go into the shop. It's the only way that you're really going to be able to see the end of this game, unless you absolutely just practice for weeks on end. And I love that this dude here is shooting at what seem like peanuts, and you have the peanut sections come out as projectiles. Every single bit of this game is just charming, the same way that something like Daytona Twin B is charming. Totally different theming, totally different vibe, but it still gives you that same sense of just pure ridiculousness. And if you know anything about me or the channel, you know I love weird when I get it. Kind of feels like Choaniki, except not muscle bound whatsoever. You have this gigantic flying teddy bear throwing away what I think must be its teddy bear children at you, and you kill them, sending them into the teddy bear ether. I guess that's what the game's trying to tell us, at least. But again, I just love this title, and it's so unfortunate that it only usually gets mentioned as far as the most expensive PC Engine and TurboGrafx games are concerned. I mean, I know I did it at the top, but it is one of those things. Sometimes games just get absurdly expensive. There's some titles for the Neo Geo AES that are probably getting close to the high 5-digit price point, which is just wild. But this game is definitely getting up there as well, and it's definitely not going to get any cheaper. I have no idea who owns this, and I have no idea if anyone would actually pay the price, but it is a fun little note in its history. This was just a later in life release for the TurboGrafx, and the TurboGrafx never really did anything successfully in the US region. Sure, it existed, people owned it, but sometimes games would have exceedingly limited runs because they didn't have the confidence of them actually selling, and this is definitely one of those titles, because U-cards were definitely expensive to make compared to CD-ROMs. They were a lot more expensive. And I love that this tree stump here just shoots out baby tree stumps. And there's a lot of that going on in the game. One enemy will just basically spit out its children at you, and you have to shoot them as well, until what I assume is the spirit of the tree comes out with this carrot top style green looking hair to attack you. It is such a fun thing to see, and you can navigate around trying to avoid those blocks. But you'll notice at the bottom right hand corner of the screen, I just had some icons there. You can buy potions and power-ups and life restores, and you get to decide when to use them within each individual level. So understanding what to buy in the shop, where to use your money, and where to conserve it becomes a big component of this game as well, because if you're on a boss and you're so close to finishing the stage and you're just short on life, you can pop off one of those potions and basically survive. So it is a real risk versus reward when you use every item you got, and that's why it's so important to collect all these crystals. But this skyship stage here, with the bars going up and down and narrowing out, this is when the game tests you for your navigation skills. You need to be able to avoid bullets in a very small confined space, while also making sure you don't get crushed by the actual ship itself. And you'll see here these snowboard dudes, or surfboard dudes more likely, always have candy on them, which is going to increase your health. Every time you see one of them, you 100% want to shoot them and get that candy. It is going to make your life a lot easier. But that's basically every shmup ever. When do you use the bomb and power up, and when do you save it? But this level also has an absolutely amazing soundtrack bit to it, so go ahead and listen to this thing for 25 seconds or so, and I'll come back and tell you a little bit more about the game, why I love it, and why it's definitely not worth $50,000. But enjoy. Again, this game's soundtrack is just so good. As we pop into the shop here, you're going to see that we can actually buy the bound item, which is going to bounce all the projectiles around the screen. And now we have the ability to basically use this level's architecture to our advantage. And that is going to be a big mechanic of Magical Chase, choosing the right power-up and the right weapon at the right time to make your life that much easier. Because now we have projectiles, and we don't really need to aim. The walls are doing all the aiming for us. And I love this, what looks like Cloud Ladybug attacking us, going in all of these pipes. Has some slight Super Mario 3 vibes as well with Bowser's airship. That's at least how I see it. You can comment down below and tell me what you think. But again, Magical Chase is just such a ton of fun. It's cute, it's colorful, it's cheery, it has a great soundtrack, but it has some legit serious difficulty as well, and a lot of item and resource management with all of those gems and how you choose to use them in the shop. But honestly, it's mostly known for just being an expensive game, and that's always fun to talk about as well. Definitely wouldn't recommend anyone run out and buy this one, but you can play it on MiSTer FPGA, you can play it on Mednafen, you can burn a disc for your Duo R, and those would be a lot more financially smart decisions than actually laying down the the price even for a Japanese copy, but you definitely should play it even if you don't have to spend the cash. But I will be back next week with more episodes in PC Engine Playhouse. I'll have videos throughout the week as well. But if you have played Magical Chase, tell me what you think down below, and if you haven't, it's your homework assignment. Play it, then leave me a comment and tell me what you think. But short of that, this bug's about dead, and we're about done with the video, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.